In the beginning, before language, before borders, before history was written, humans were already trying to understand the universe. And strangely, no matter where they were in the world, they all started drawing the same things: circles, spirals, interlocking patterns, symbols that shouldn't have been connected, but they were. In ancient Egypt, priests carved sacred geometry into temple walls, believing these shapes held the blueprint of creation itself. Halfway across the world, the Maya etched eerily similar patterns into stone, mapping time, cycles, and cosmic order. In India, Vedic texts describe the universe not as chaos, but as structured, rhythmic, almost mathematical, encoded in symbols like the mandala. And in ancient Greece, philosophers spoke of a hidden order beneath reality, something you couldn't see but could understand through numbers and form. Different civilizations, different languages, different gods, and yet the same symbols kept appearing. So, what did they see that we don't? Take the spiral, it appears everywhere: ancient carvings, cave art, sacred sites. At first glance, it looks simple, but zoom out, you'll find it in galaxies swirling across the universe, in hurricanes forming over oceans, in the structure of DNA inside your own body. The same pattern repeating across scales. Was it just coincidence? Or were ancient people recognizing something fundamental, a pattern woven into reality itself? Then there's the circle. To us, it's basic. But to ancient cultures, it meant infinity, unity, wholeness, no beginning, no end. The Ouroboros, a serpent eating its own tail, appears in multiple civilizations, symbolizing the cycle of destruction and rebirth, life feeding into death, and death feeding into life. A concept modern science echoes in ecosystems, in stars dying to create new ones, even in the recycling of atoms that make up you. And then, the most mysterious of them all, the flower of life, a geometric pattern made of evenly spaced, overlapping circles. It appears in Egyptian temples, in medieval art, in spiritual traditions across continents. Some believe it encodes the fundamental structure of space and time. Others say it's symbolic, a visual representation of how everything is connected. Skeptics argue it's just an aesthetic pattern. But here's the question: why did so many civilizations, separated by oceans and centuries, arrive at the same design? Were they sharing knowledge or discovering something independently? Because it was always there to be found. Modern science has begun uncovering something unexpected. Nature doesn't operate randomly, it follows patterns: fractals in trees and rivers, symmetry in crystals, mathematical constants appearing in the fabric of reality. Even the universe itself seems to obey a kind of hidden geometry. Physicists describe reality using equations. Ancient cultures described it using symbols, different languages, same idea. But here's where it gets interesting. Ancient people didn't just observe these patterns, they believed interacting with them changed you. Meditating on mandalas, walking labyrinths, building temples aligned with stars and sacred ratios. To them, symbols weren't decoration, they were tools, interfaces between the human mind and the cosmos. Some researchers today suggest that symbols affect us psychologically, triggering recognition deep in the brain. Others go further. They propose that these patterns resonate with how we process reality itself, that when we see them, something clicks, not because we were taught, but because on some level, we already know them. So maybe the real question isn't, did ancient civilizations share a secret? Maybe it's, Why does the human mind keep rediscovering the same truths? Because across time, across culture, across history, we've been looking at the same universe, trying to decode it, trying to understand our place within it. And maybe these symbols are the closest we've ever come to a universal language. A language not made of words, but of patterns. And if that's true, then these ancient carvings, these sacred geometries, they're not relics of the past. They're messages still waiting to be understood. So the next time you see a spiral, a circle, or a pattern that feels strangely familiar, pause, because you might not just be looking at art. You might be looking at a reflection of the structure of reality itself. And maybe something humanity once understood, but somehow forgot.